Welcome back on Politics Today on Channels Television. Well, the Fresh Democratic Party, since winning the deregistration case in court in 2013, are asking a big question: why can't we participate in elections and run as a political party? Well, I have Mr. Kola Dopemu, the legal advisor of the Fresh Democratic Party, join me now on the program. Thank you for joining us on the program.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah, tell us what is happening. I've heard you, your party at different fora talk about your inability to run in any elections. When you won that case in over a year, almost a year now, what happened afterwards?
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. It's so sad that we, in this age and time, when everybody talks about rule of law, a government or an institution established under the Constitution of Nigeria is flagrantly disobeying a court order. It's a very sad situation because I remember, because we participated fully well, INEC was represented, the government was represented by the Attorney General and the Minister of Justice. The National Assembly was a party, and even the police were part and parcel of the entire process. Unfortunately, when the judgment was delivered, which was on the 29th of July 2013, it will be about a year in another 1 week now, INEC were, of course, routed because they know, and everybody knew, that what happened between us was an illegal thing. That is, INEC was not acting in accordance with the provisions of the Constitution. So it's an unfortunate thing.
When you won that case,
yes,
and I'm very sure that I've had conversations with people in INEC. Unfortunately, we could not get them here on the program today. We've been trying to get hold of them on this particular issue on the program. But they have appealed that particular case. So if a case is appealed, you're a lawyer, so that means that there is somewhat an automatic stay of execution in that case, isn't it?
No, it is not. Let me first say this thing. There's a difference between an appeal being entered and an appeal or a notice of appeal. A notice of appeal is an intention to appeal, which is exactly what INEC did in this case. What they did was that immediately, not even immediately, almost 3 months after, the normal 90 days after the judgment, they exceeded it. But they went ahead and filed a notice of appeal. And the notice of appeal does not contain anything, does not show anything at all. It does not, it just shows your intention to appeal that decision. When, after filing that, there are certain procedures, certain process that must necessarily be followed, they went to sleep. And naturally, by virtue of the provisions of the Court of Appeal rules, that appeal has become odious, is dead, and they know it. So as we stand, as it is right now, there's no appeal before any court in Nigeria.
When INEC approached the court for a notice of appeal, when in the intention to appeal that particular case, you were served?
Yes, we were served.
That was when?
That was sometimes in September 2013.
That was about 2 or 3 months after the
3 months after,
judgment.
precisely, yes.
Okay, so what have you done since you realize that it's just a notice, and there are days by which that notice could incubate, and there's a period in which that particular notice will expire. So what have you done?
Well, I'm glad that you asked that question, because I've been asked that question severally. Some people expected us to have gone back to court and take certain steps which they consider to be necessary. But strategically, our party decided that we will not go back to court. This is because if we go back to court to seek for any relief from court again, they will say the case is sub judice. Therefore, they cannot take any action. As it stands today, Fresh Democratic Party is an extant party. It's in existence. We have the legal backing of the Constitution, but INEC, for whatever reason best known to them, they have decided to deny us political right, which we entered into.
When you say they denied it, you have the judgment, don't you?
Yes, we do.
And what stops you from going ahead with whatever?
I'll just explain that to you now. If we go back to court,
No, what I mean is
Yes.
that you have that judgment.
Yes.
You are saying INEC has stopped you. In what way have they stopped you?
Because on many occasions, our candidates have come out. They wanted to contest in Anambra. They came out. They wanted, but we have like 3 candidates that wanted to contest the election, but they refused to give them all the necessary papers. In the recently concluded Ekiti State gubernatorial election, we had candidates.
Did you write to INEC?
We did. We wrote them. Our candidates were constant. In fact, on 2 occasions, I went to INEC chairman's office, and I make bold to say this. It's so sad that they are not here today. I went to INEC's office, and they told us that, well, we've heard about this judgment on the radio, on the TV, but we have not seen one. I said, okay. I went back. I got a certified true copy of this judgment, and I forwarded with a letter to the INEC chairman, and they acknowledged it. The truth here is that somebody somewhere is playing God. I am very sure that someone somewhere is afraid of something.
Let me quickly come in. I mean, I'm not a lawyer, but the little knowledge of the law that I have, I mean, it shows clearly that you have some windows of actions that you can take if the kind of judgment you got last year in 2013 is not being acted upon. And the appeal has not gone ahead. What legally have you gone? Now, because now you're saying INEC has stopped you and you have refused to take any legal other options.
Yes, like I said before, we have options. We have the option to go back to court and ask the court to maybe for contempt for disobeying court order. We also have the opportunity or the option of challenging the elections, or in some cases like in Osun State now, we have the right to go to court and say, look, this election cannot go on except you include our party, because we are a party recognized under the law. But we have chosen, and this is strategically, like I said, every party, every litigant has the right to choose what path to follow. We have decided that, look, if we go to court, and we know that for a truth, that if we go back to court, INEC, what they are going to do is that, look, we can't take any further action, because I wouldn't even be able to come here to talk to you now, because the case, they will say, is sub judice. It is contemptuous of a lawyer to come before the media and start talking about a case that is pending.
Let me ask you, as a lawyer, if a judgment of a particular case is not acted upon, what will the court do?
Well, the court will not do anything except to approach the court for enforcement of that.
So what would the enforcement look like? The
enforcement will be like, first, whoever is in charge, for instance, in this case, Professor Tairu Jega and the principal officers of INEC, they could be cited for contempt for disobeying the order of the court. They could. But like I said, and I still insist on this, we have not taken that option because we consider that option to be detrimental even to democracy that we all pursue here. We feel that the most important thing is that we should be able to get INEC to come out and say, this is the reason why we are not recognizing you.
Do you think that you have exhausted all options open for you to make sure that your judgment is being taken? If not in court, in other places?
Certainly not. Certainly not.
What other options do you have?
The other option we have, like I said again, is we could actually stop the coming election in Osun State.
No, aside that, can you approach the other arm of government?
We have actually done that. I said this. We have letters written by the lead counsel in that case, Dr. Fred Agbaji. He wrote a letter to the National Assembly. I also wrote a letter as the National Legal Advisor to the National Assembly. We have written letters to all the organs of the government. And it's amazing. As a matter of fact, we even approached some of the political parties to show how far we have gone, to make INEC see reason. And instead, what we hear is a cacophony of voices from them. We hear them say this thing today. The first thing we heard was that, well, since Federal Democratic Party was the party that went to court, we will recognize them. Then after some time, they said, okay, you have to seek re-registration. Then the last one they said was that, well, we cannot even consider you. which we feel very sad.
Is your party frustrated in this
We
process?
can never be frustrated. We have a mission.
What are you planning to do now?
Well,
What's your mission?
we are having done the needful, particularly the pacifist action that we have taken to see if INEC will do the needful, then we'll take the next phase. The next phase is very simple. We are going to stop the next election. We have restrained ourselves from doing that. We have candidates all over the country, and I say this thing with all sense of responsibilities. I have received not less than 20 calls yesterday from candidates all over the country. They want to know what the position is. Some of them are threatening to go to court. We might not even go to court as a party, but we know that individuals within the party are willing to challenge INEC for refusing to allow them to contest elections.
So that could be the implication from your point, from your party's point of view.
And you know, one of the reasons why we have restrained ourselves from doing that is because we consider that by all means possible, if you exclude a political party from contesting an election, that election, to all intent and purpose, is no matter how free, no matter how fair it is inconclusive. And there's no way a court of law will uphold it. So we're saying here that there is need for INEC to do the needful. They are hearing us. Why is it so difficult for them? Why? We are a party. We're not even asking them they have not paid us any money. Because we've had people talk about, well, they have been receiving money. No. INEC has not given us any money in the past 10 years or so, or thereabout. We have not received a dime from them, even before the purported deregistration.
The former candidate, the presidential candidate of your party and the leader of your party, Pastor Chris Okotie, what is his stand on this? Is it the same thing with the party?
Well, his view, of course, naturally is the same with what I'm expressing here. As a matter of fact, because of his stand, because of his pacifist nature, he wants all peaceful means to be used to get this thing done.
Perhaps he will want to contest in 2015.
Well, that is a decision that he will have to answer himself. But let me say this thing that, well, most of us who know his capabilities are asking him. But the final decision, whether to contest or not, lies only with him.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Kola Dopemu, for talking to us. We hope that in the coming days, we've actually talked to INEC. Unfortunately, we could not bring them on the program tonight. But from the conversation that we had, INEC says it has appealed that particular case. From the Fresh Party's point of view, this is the situation on ground. Thank you, Mr. Kola Dopemu, legal advisor of the Fresh Democratic Party. After the break, the Osun State governorship election is just weeks away. One of the top contenders in the race will be talking to us on Politics Today. Join us again.